here to talk about Sam Walton. I'm not, related to him or anything, but I thought it would be kind of cool to learn about him since I worked at Walmart actually all through high school, and I worked there every summer. So it would be kind of neat to figure out where this place came from. I found this quote that he said, I've always been driven to buck the system, to innovate and to take things beyond where they've been. And I think that he really succeeded in doing that. I learned about his early childhood on investingvalue.com. He was born in Kingfisher, Oklahoma on March 29, 1918 to Thomas and Nancy Walton. His dad was a farmer until about 1923, whenever they realized that their farming wasn't doing very well and that it wasn't really taking care of their family. And so he returned to his previous career as a loan appraiser, and they moved up to Missouri. While attending school there in the 8th grade, Sam Walton became the youngest Eagle Scout in the state's history at age 13. During high school, Sam Walton was actually very athletic. He played basketball and football, and he was Hickman High School is where he went to school, and it was a town of Columbia. And his junior year in high school, he was the vice president of his class. And by the time he was a senior, he worked his way up to president. After graduating high school, he attended the University of Missouri and graduated in 1940 with a BA in economics. After graduating college, he went to work for JCPenney and was a management trainee until 1942 when he joined the U.S. Army. He served in the Army from 42 to 45, and he actually worked his way up to captain. While he was in the Army, he worked at DuPont Munitions in Tulsa, where he met his future wife, Helen Robson. She's from Claremore. They met in April 1942, and they married the next year on Valentine's Day. And they had Alice, Jim, John, and Rob. Whenever he finished in the Army in 1945, he got a $20,000 loan from his father-in-law, and he had actually saved up $5,000 from being in the Army. And with that money, he and his brother James opened their first store that they called Ben Franklin in Newport, Arkansas. 5 years later, the owner of the building refused to renew the lease, and so they moved to Bentonville. Whenever he moved to Bentonville, he started questioning the success of smaller stores like he was trying to operate, and began studying stores like Kmart to see why they were so successful. And he realized that the reason that they were so successful is because they tried to stay in larger towns. And so he wanted to kind of incorporate that but do something different. So he and his brother James opened their first Walmart store in 1962 in a town called Rogers. Rogers was actually just outside of Bentonville, which is now the headquarters of Walmart. His first stores were actually really small and unorganized. There was a website that kind of described it as being barn-like, with merchandise everywhere and just things falling off shelves and stuff. But by the time they started becoming really successful, they were able to build, better buildings and organize things a lot better. He made a point to travel to every Walmart that he opened, which I thought was pretty cool. He actually went in and looked at the store and then gathered all the employees and told them what they could do to better the store and to, have higher sales. By 1998, there were Walmarts on 4 continents and in 9 different countries. In 1991, Fortune magazine recognized him as America's most successful merchant. And the A&E biography made a life story of him in 1997, and that was actually the most watched program in the history of the series. In 1991, which was the year before his death, he received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and he died less than a year later on April 5th, 1992.
All right, is that everybody?
No, sir. Couldn't dodge you.
Oh, okay. One more.
I tried though. Yes.